Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Mini Metro. This time we are tackling, which I don't actually remember now, we just did Montreal in Canada, now we're doing Sao Paulo, if that's the right way to pronounce it, in Brazil. And it looks like we need to get 500 in order to lock Cairo, which should be pretty straightforward. So again, once again, I'm not too worried, but nevertheless, you know, first impressions that can be a little misleading, so we will just have a go and see what happens. I've actually been investigating some of the achievements, and some of them actually look to be really challenging. So once I'm done through all the cities/countries here, I will definitely probably do a few achievement runs before I wrap up this mini metro series. And okay, so let's do another loop and just get all the lines out. So it looks like we've got 6 lines this time, which it's not too bad. I mean, it's not 7 lines, but like it's not 5 lines either. So for now, I'm not too worried, and it will really depend on what happens when we start zooming out and then we have to start crossing some of these rivers. So certainly, it looks like we've got 4 bridges here, which is certainly ample enough for the time being, but of course, it all depends on where stations will spawn and how we will have to manage our resources in future. So as usual, we'll stick with our usual strategy of just keeping the loops around, and maybe if we need to pause every now and then just to think about distribution of stations, and maybe we need to reorder some lines, we will do just that. And as usual, I don't have too much of a set theory in my head at the moment, so it's really just going by feel and just seeing what happens, and how good the RNG gods are to me. RNG stands for random number generator, if you didn't know, so it's kind of used to refer to like sort of just an element of randomness in games in general. So that's a little tidbit for those who are not familiar with some of the gaming lingo that is often used in other games. So we've got an interesting choice of starting colors, because I think I distinctly remember some of the other colors being a bit brighter, but then we actually have to go back and watch my other videos to actually see. But for now, trains are going, it's the end of the week, and everything seems to be trucking along fairly smoothly. So once again, it's just a matter of seeing what happens, where the congestion happens, where some of the stations pop up. So do I want a line or do I want a carriage? I think I'm gonna go for a line, because I want to max out the lines first. I still don't know if that's the right strategy. Maybe a carriage might be better in terms of long-term planning, but I think it's I'm trying to remember some theory about it's sort of like when you can categorize a game into having complete and incomplete information, but I don't remember all the details. So it's like, if I knew what stage I was, if I knew what resources, words. If I knew what I was gonna get after each week, then obviously I can better plan my resources. But since I don't, it's sort of like a game of incomplete information. But I think incomplete information sort of refers to it's more like when you're playing cards, and the incomplete information refers to not knowing what your opponent's cards are, that sort of thing. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that one up, but yeah, that's so the main point I'm trying to say is that, like, in terms of incomplete information, we don't know what we're gonna get after each week, and we don't know how like passages will pop up like randomly around okay. Triangle, circle, back to triangle. Square station again is one on its own, so we would like to give that a fair amount of attention, but certainly once we get some better trains or some more trains, we will certainly have to redistribute some of these resources. So far, this is probably not the most efficient use of all the lines, but right now it's using all the lines while we still have all the lines, so I think it's not something to worry about for the time being. Of course, this will create a bit more trouble when we have to reorder things, but for now, in the meantime, I'm not so worried. So certainly when stations start popping out around here, around the outside here, that's definitely when we are gonna need to rethink a few things and reorder some of the lines, and yeah, just really take a look at the situation. Now, what I'm noticing is that we are getting a lot more passengers than usual. Okay, do I want a line or do I want a carriage? I think I'm gonna stick to my strategy of maxing out the line so that when we get the other options, like, since we can't get lines, it reduces the number of, it basically simplifies the decision-making process for us. So that's where I think it's, at least that's where my thinking is going. But we're having already a bit of trouble, which is somewhat worrying. So we've got a square here, so I'm gonna add another line, and there's already a significant amount of overlap that I'm sort of needing to do, and this is gonna be interesting. I have a feeling I'm actually gonna struggle, and the difference between this map and most of the rest is that maybe the parameters are set that more customers will spawn at each station, because that is certainly what I'm noticing right now. So I have a feeling I'm going to need to have an additional carriage soon, because with more customers, I need more capacity to transport them off the station and moving along the train, because certainly right now the current trains aren't quite cutting it. So that can be a little bit of a worry. But so far we seem to be managing fairly well, and thankfully it's Friday, so we will have some ample resources coming up soon to deal with all that. So now we just have to sit and wait and adapt to the new stations as they come. So right now, there's lots of isolated stations that sort of need their own attention, and wow, okay, I need to pause that. Alright. Do I want to extend the green line to this one, or should I extend the yellow line around this one? I think I want to extend the green line to this one because but what I also need to do, I need to shorten the green line a little so that the green train is not so overburdened in moving around. It is a pity that I can't really get like the green to cover a square, because now I feel like it's covering too much distance in one go, so it's probably one of the safer options. Of course, that teardrop there basically means the green train will be the only one transporting raindrop passengers over there, which may be an issue in future, but for now we'll see how things go. Thankfully it's Sunday, it's almost time for us to get some more resources, and I'm not gonna lie, I am a little excited. We are gonna go for a carriage this time, and I think I'm gonna give this to yellow, because certainly the yellow line is needing a bit of attention. Now with this blue, what I'm gonna do is extend the triangle over here, and do I extend this here? I think that is a good idea. Now, question, where should I put my extra locomotive? I think we will have to sit and wait and see what happens, although my first hunch is to give it to the yellow line. But once again, we will have to see how things are going, and actually now that I'm sort of talking about this, I'm actually wondering now, how plausible is it to, I guess, what's the latest I can wait before I can move a train from one spot to another? That's sort of the other thing I haven't quite figured out just yet. And it's, the other thing I obviously need to test is, how do trains, like if I move one train from one line to another, how do the trains adapt? So that's certainly something that for me I need to do a bit of testing on my own and find out, or it can be something that we will investigate together. But it looks like we are now running into some problems. So what I'm gonna do now is make this green line super long and super annoying. No, sorry, that's not the right word. It's now super annoying to deal with, and I don't know how to deal with it. So I've got one bridge, so what I'm gonna do is make this, yeah, I think for me that's probably the safest option, but I will eventually want to establish a loop. at least up the top, so when another station spawns up there, we will hopefully get that loop established. And I have a feeling now that with the raindrop station there, for all the other lines they need to drop off the raindrop customers here, which can be a problem. So I'm not quite... So that is something definitely to keep in mind. So maybe I will extend the blue one over here. We are already above 500, so that's milestone 1. If we can get 1,000, I'll be very happy. But given the way the passengers seem to be accumulating at the station, it seems like this will not go down easy. So again, there's not much I can do right now except wait for the next station and see what happens and adjust as we see fit. So I'm thinking, this blue looks extended long enough. This orange, I'm thinking, do I extend the orange a bit more? Or actually, I need to think about this for a second. Maybe I'm gonna move this yellow one over to the green. And well, it's Saturday, so I'm gonna stretch this here. Hopefully facilitate a bit more moving around, but I have a feeling I'm not gonna be making mine for very long. It's... Okay, what are you doing? I want you over here, thank you very much. And, okay, so it looks like it's sort of just like waiting there, and sort of trying to figure things out. So, yeah. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna take this extra carriage and give it to the green. But no, I want this. Want this extra... No. I think I've screwed something up, which is a shame. But alright, we really need Sunday to finish because I'm starting to panic. So we got new locomotive. I want carriages. Let's pause and okay, so I'm thinking we're having a bit of trouble here. So I need to figure out okay, do I want to put this on the purple or do I want to put it on the orange? I think I'm gonna extend the purple here and I'm gonna add the extra carriage to purple. Because it's still the same line, it's still going through the same stations as orange. And where do I want to put the extra locomotive? I feel like I've got 2 on the green and 1 on all the others. So, but yellow is still needing a lot of attention. So I'm gonna put the 1 carriage here. And this is certain. I definitely envisage that we are going to lose this game fairly quickly. And so, but nevertheless, we'll adapt on the fly and we'll see how things go. And hopefully things will work out in our favor. And this is already very, very congested, so it looks like my demise will be coming fairly quickly, resulting in another short episode, which is, you know what, sometimes we like things a bit shorter every now and then. So, and yes, it is time. So we've just barely short of 700, which is, I would have liked to hit 750, but certainly this was kind of a very interesting situation that sort of, I was not quite sure how to adapt to it. I think, in hindsight, let's see if I could just continue in endless, and we'll just pause and take a look here. I think what I could have done is, I'm thinking, okay, maybe if I just made an additional train line, just 1 train line here, and then had a line going up here and around, that would have just helped the movement a bit more. So that's certainly a bit of thinking, but yeah, in bare minimum, I've hit my 500 milestone. I've unlocked the next city, so with that I'm fairly happy. And so with that, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video.